What's up, fight fans? We are back at it with another edition here at Round One Sports TV. I am your host, Edwin, and where do all fights start? Round one. I hope everybody out there is enjoying their holidays. Happy New Year's Eve. Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. And there's a lot of things going on in the sport of boxing. I wanted to hop on right now and give you guys at least an hour to have something to watch while we come into our holidays, and Christmas is tomorrow. I hope it's been good to you. Have you been good? You know? So there's a lot to talk about. Devin Haney, his wife with Young Thug's jail phone call is circling all over social media. We're going to touch into that a little bit. Teofimo Lopez with Sabria Matias, all that and more. So stay tuned with us. Please give the videos a thumbs up, share the videos, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into this video. Wow, wow, we got a messy situation here on our hands, to say the least. To say the least, anyway. You know, let's talk about the top story right now, which is Devin Haney, his wife's phone calls with Young Thug, and you know, and what she had to say about it, right? Okay, let me just get set up here so that I can just focus on the topic at hand. All right. I should check to see if the video's coming up on well. I believe that the sound is. Let me check it. I should put the video up here. All right. Yeah, everything sounds good. All right. All right. Let me know where you're tuning in from, and that you too can hear me loud and clear. And we'll just get right into this video right now. We're all set. Well, uh, first of all, um, I didn't get to go on last night. I was talking to Bam. I apologize for not going on, but I had some Christmas wrapping to do, and a lot of it. And I couldn't leave my girl by herself to do it all. So we had to get that done, get it out the way. So, I've been going on a little bit sporadically during these holiday, getting when I could and everything. So I apologize for that. But and then you guys know that I will wait on a story or two before I, see all the ins and outs of it. This is a touchy one. This has to do with much more than boxing. We're talking about a man's relationship. We're talking about a man's reputation as a man and as a young black man in America, and how men view young black men, and how you're not supposed to be disrespected. You're not supposed to show any weakness. And these are all the things that we're supposed to portray, right? It goes to show you that no matter how much money you have, on whatever level man you are, you could always have girl problems. Do you have Devin Haney money? And if not, well, if a girl can do that to Devin Haney, what would she do to you? You see, at any stage and at any level in your life, this could happen to you. Some of us might sit there and want to text and throw shots at Devin Haney. You're this, you're that. Like you would. Well, not until you've ever gone through something like that. It's real easy to sit there and say, I would just walk away. Not when your heart's involved, not when you have a child involved. I believe she's expecting, right? Their first child, and they are married, right? Okay. I saw the videotape, and we could be at different points in our lives, as individuals, right? The way she was kind of throwing herself at Young Thug and he wasn't like trying to hear it, it gave her a real bad look. The fact that she came out and said that the phone call was before she got, before she met Devin Haney. The problem with that is time frame is not adding up. That's all. The time frame's not adding up. From the time she met Devin Haney, that they were out in, you know, you saw them out in the Muslim. What I don't know what exactly what part they were in, but they were out there and they were dressed in the Muslim attire and they were going through the procedure of their beliefs of how they do it. I'm not quite familiar with any of that. And in that time frame, Young Thug wasn't even in jail yet on the RICO trial. So I was just like, but I'm just gonna leave that alone right there because this young man, the only reason why I'm bringing this up because I don't usually talk about anything that has to do with a boxer's outside life, really. I don't bring it up. The only reason why I made an exception to this particular topic is because Devin Haney's been getting scrutiny from a lot of different angles. I just want you to guys out there just just hear me out for a second. If you were ever in Devin Haney's shoes, besides saying I would have never got there in the first place to get out of what I'm saying, if you were really in his shoes and you were a superstar like him, what would you do right now? Would you literally look out in the world and say, bro, don't all of you got problems? Don't all of you out there have a story to tell? Tell me the person that life really laid down for them. And you come up and tell me how perfect you are. You mean just because you're a professional boxer and you have millions of dollars, girls won't do this to you? Situations in life won't happen to you. You become bulletproof. And in fact, it's worse because as an athlete, now your lifestyle is pasted all over social media. If he was a regular dude and Young Thug was a regular dude in jail, we would have never heard of this phone call. We could do regular shit and not be scrutinized or any of that. But when you have cameras in your face on a day-to-day basis, you're responsible for being role models to perhaps little girls and boys out there. And your life starts to unfold when sometimes what you want is a little privacy. He walks outside, dudes is calling him, use a B, use this, you soft, Devin, your girl playing you. And all these people really truly don't know all the facts. They actually really don't know what the Devin Haneys are going through or what he's willing to work through. We're actually destroying his family. Whether we think that he made the right decision or not, that's for the up to that young man to make. Did you pick every right girl for you in your life? You only picked one girl in your entire life and it worked out beautifully. If you haven't, then he didn't pick out the right one either. How many men have done that? So who are we as men to sit back and be like, yo, my man girl wife's a hoe and this and that and blah blah blah. Bro, my man's heart is already broken enough. That Ryan Garcia stuff, him taking him to court, how people viewed him as a young black fighter. Yo, we don't do that. But in fact, there are 100 fighters that take court cases in boxing every day. Loma tried to do it to Devin Haney, but when Devin Haney does it, oh, Devin Haney, man, listen, your back's against the wall. It's not time to dig yourself in a hole or to lash out. And I think that Devin Haney right now is his only option, and I've been saying this since the beginning, his only option is to take care of this with the one thing that got him here: boxing. The one thing I noticed about boxing, it's a blood sport. You bring the fans blood, knockouts, they'll love you again. All this, Devin, will be a thing of the past. I think you're focusing on the wrong things, and a lot of other shit keeps popping up. It must be difficult being you, Devin Haney, right now. Shit, with all these people throwing up all these videos on you, I can imagine how embarrassed, maybe a sense of betrayal, maybe you're questioning who you are as a man. You know, your last fight is plaguing you, the court cases, and it seems like you can't run from anything. Devin, you're gonna have to make a stand. You're gonna have to stand on your own 2 feet. And the one thing that really can't hurt you is social media, right? They can't physically touch you. They can't punch you in the face. It might hurt your credibility. It might hurt your persona as a fighter, but you can get all that back. Make a stand. Focus on boxing. Focus on being the best in the gym. I guarantee you, you put everything you got into it. It's not gonna be a question of, oh, I prepared myself to the best. I went out there and I still lost type shit. And that type of mentality would be in the back of your head. No, guarantee you, if you put everything behind your training, you're gonna get the result you wanted. I guarantee it. You're gonna Devin Haney's you're a good boxer, son. You just gotta stop the bleeding. In order to stop the bleeding, Devin Haney, I think that you're fighting too many fights at too many different angles, and then more shit is piling on. You haven't even addressed or got to the bottom of some of these other topics. And breaking news, my wife's plastered all over. Bro, that must be freaking crazy right now for the young man. He's all of 25 years old. And at 25 years old, I know I made a lot of mistakes. I didn't make all the best choices in the world. I can't expect Devin Haney to make choices with the experience and the life I've already lived. From the outside looking in, I could scrutinize Devin Haney's situation and be like X, Y, and Z. But to tell you the truth, that's gotta hurt. Whether true, whether she didn't do it, it doesn't matter. Whatever person leaked that video for money, they knew what they were gonna do. It was gonna cause a tear in their relationship, in their trust, and how they view each other. And in this game, when you're an athlete, every smile seems fake. Are you laughing with me? Are you really my friend? Do you have my best intentions? And all of a sudden, you don't start to trust everyone. And the one person you share your bed with, this, my man Travis Hunt is going through it too. They got all these little videos on Travis Hunt, man, and unfortunately, these are just life problems. What happened to Travis Hunt was happening to Devin Haney, happened to me. Can happen to you. Can happen to anyone. Any man. There are men out there that are worth billions of dollars. And for some reason, she's not happy. I don't, that's just, that's our journey through life, man. We're going to experience some shit, you know. And I know one thing, I wouldn't like my relationship or what I'm going through with probably the one person that I was the most intimate with in my life, and I shared probably some really intimate moments with her, and for it to become from her, that's why, sometimes in life, it's not good to love something too strong. Not like that. I'm not here to I'm not a relationship counselor or anything like that, but and I'm not gonna break it down, but look, I've always been on the line where that it wasn't healthy to love something else more than yourself. You ever felt as a man, like when I was 17, 18, I was in that point where I was like, I don't want to be with no one else, type shit. And then you realize and you go through life and life teaches you that's not healthy. Although I might love this person dearly, there has to be a point in your inside of you where that she might think that you won't walk away, but then she might not know me very well. I kind of train myself not to fall completely head over heels for those reasons because my first relationships and girlfriends and X, Y, and Z taught me that. You know what I mean? Your heart gets broken. And yo, and we're so self-centered. Like me as a man, I'm gonna talk for myself. I was so self-centered. Like I was so hurt that in like my high school relationships or whatever, and the girl that I was with, that she was with someone else or whatever. And like I'm so self-centered, right? Never during the time I was grieving, right? That I think of any of the women that I've been with, right? It was all about me and my control and whether I was losing control over the fact that my I guess when I was young, I guess my claim to fame was that I could be with other women, no one could be with mine or something. It was a real life lesson for me, and then you realize I did anyway, that you can't play that game. You know what I mean? You just have to understand that you can only control yourself. We're all human. Whether you make mistakes or not, I can't control that. That's up to you. You can't control if I make mistakes. I can't guarantee you anything. You can't guarantee me anything. But we can go on our journey together. If you chose to get off this ride at any time in the manner that you choose it, I'm going to understand that that's what you chose. I never want to put myself in a situation where mentally I start to want to think violent acts. I try to like, not get there no more, you know? And that's what life taught me. That's what life taught me. Life has taught me this. I'm much older, a bit wiser. But even though I noticed one thing about life was that no matter how many things I learned, I'm deemed to repeat life's lessons. And I'd be like, yeah, I learned that. I've been here. I've done this in my and a few years later, same situation will pop up. And and sometimes I'll fail, sometimes I'll catch it, and then I look back and I'm like, "Bro, that's the same." It's like we're here like to repeat things, to continuously to learn and to grow throughout our journey. And my man Devin, man, you're just a young man going through some things. Just know that every 10 years life really does change. You you don't like the same things. I don't like the same things I liked when I was 20 years old to when I was 30 years old. I didn't I didn't enjoy the same things. And as I got older, I started learning that no, you don't stay that same person. So Devin, my man, like, look, you can't fight everyone's opinion. You can't fight every quote. You're not gonna stop the bleeding. It's gonna continue to, and the more you try to defend yourself, the more ways people are gonna come at you with different things. You're gonna be fighting too many things. I'm not saying to run from social media because also there's gonna be like, but a little radio silence, a little bit more talk just about boxing. Just when you address things or talk about things, just try to focus on boxing and giving us fights, showing us that, where you're at. I've seen a lot of videos of Devin Haney training in the gym, preparing for what? It's good just to be in there and to be in shape and everything else. Yeah, that's great. Is it just that right there? You really don't know where. Uh, a lot of scrutiny behind Teofimo Lopez and Top Rank and saying that Devin Haney ducked Teofimo Lopez. Look, Teofimo Lopez right now, he's a he's 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 a character, bro. Pay attention to what's been going on with Teofimo Lopez. In fact, right? Hasn't Teofimo Lopez's name been linked in the past year with no fight? First, he was going to fight Terrence Crawford. Then he was going to fight Jerron Boots Ennis. Then he was going to fight, who else T.O. was going to fight? Devin Haney. Then he was going to fight, now he's going to fight Subria Matias. You kind of don't see a pattern going on here with T.O. Every guy's name was like either a top superstar boxer or a rising star. But you better believe every name he attached himself to had good fan base, was well known in the sport of boxing. But the one thing I noticed, he didn't fight any of them. And I told you guys back then, like I'm gonna tell you right now, Tio and his management, yo, professional clout chasers. Yo, they got a black belt and clout chasing. What? You know what I'm saying? Bro, you was gonna fight Terrence Crawford. I told you guys, come on, guys. Please don't do that. No, he's gonna really fight him. The T.O. and Devin went at it. Blah, 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 Bill kind of like shot himself in the foot when he blatantly came out. It was like, I ain't doing no business with him. So I was like, all right. I mean, he could have wanted it, right? I think that would have been a great fight, Devin and Teal, right? I like that fight. They should, for all this history that they have, they should fight right now. Like, come on, man, right? So I'm sitting back. I hear the news. Breaking news. Mike Carpenter says, Teofimo Lopez and Subria Matias are looking to set a date for what was it, March 15th, right? And no venue, no location has been finalized. Mike Carpenter comes out and releases the story, right? I see it everywhere. I see it plastered everywhere. So didn't I see Teofimo Lopez versus Jerron Boots Ennis. So didn't I see Teofimo Lopez versus Devin Haney, Terrence Crawford, Teofimo Lopez. I know I'm missing a couple guys. They attached that man's name to every fighter there was. Ironically, I'm like, he fought no one. No one. Now, you know that just the thought, Teofimo Lopez accepting a fight against Subria Matias, that it would get us talking about Teal. Then Teal's going to be all talked up about and then turn around and fight a nobody. He's going to fight a Klagic again. He's going to fight a no. He did it to us when we got that fight. Wasn't it supposed to be that Teal was going to go where? Where were the fights at? He was going to fight in his home country. Some random cab driver. They didn't accept it. Then he was going to fight in New York. And then all of a sudden he ended up fighting this guy. So when I'm looking at this to get us all rammed up, how many videos were made about Tio and Boots? How many videos were made about Tio and Crawford? How many videos were made? How many videos were made with Tio and Devin? And Tio talks like none of us should remember any of these things, or these kind of tactics that are unfolding right before your eyes. If Tio takes this fight against Subriel Matias, one, I'll be shocked. Two, I'll be happy. Three, then I got to break down the fight and my honest assessment about the fight. I'm a little nervous for Subriel, bro. I got to be honest. A little nervous. All right. Tio, when, went over there with Eddie and them, doesn't mean that he's going to win the fight. But there's too much video on what happened in Puerto Rico with Subriel and Liam Paro. You can learn a lot from that fight to fight the kind of style that Subriel has. If Subriel doesn't make some adjustments, Tio's capable of doing exactly what Liam Paro did at a much higher level. Yeah, he can do that. He can nullify Subriel Matias's best weapon in the inside by grabbing him. Grabbing him, clinching him is really not allowed in the sport of boxing, but it also depends what referee's in the ring with you. Because there should have been point deductions for as much as grabbing that Liam Paro did to Subriel. But apparently the referee just let it go on. So what did that cause him? Did it cause him to win? No, it caused him to lose. So he made the blueprint for beating the type of style that Subriel Matias has. So in Subriel's last fight, he didn't really have to switch it up against that guy. Subriel was just the stronger of the two men, and he showed it. Hit him hard, dropped him, ended the fight. Good. That's not Teofimo Lopez. For as much shit as Teofimo Lopez talked, and believe me, if he actually has some balls to accept the fight with Subriel, the very first thing I'm going to is that statement Tio made. What'd you say about Puerto Rican fighters? And how easy are they? Okay, we're about to find out. But until that day happens, then we're gonna address that. But if this is another ploy, just keeping Tio's name irrelevant so that Bob Arum can get him another cab driver and then say, no. Support me on this fight. My next fight's going to be mega. When you told us that your last 3 fights, then you try to take like these moral victories and make him like Tio, right? He beat Josh Taylor. Yes. In the boxing world, in the locker rooms, yes. You were the first person to technically beat Josh Taylor. He was never beat for those belts. He was stripped coming into your fight. Technically, on that night, you would have beat it an undisputed world champion. But in reality, you didn't, Tio. Let it go, bro. Let it go. Like you're taking these moral victories and you're trying to make them like real. No, you beat Josh Taylor for 1 belt, Tio. I'm sorry, man. You only beat him for the WBO. That's it. So, I mean, it would be an awesome fight, wouldn't it, guys? Let me read some of y'all messages. Let me catch up with you guys. What's up, guys? How you doing? Boxing Facts in the building. How you guys doing out there? Lloyd, how you doing, brother? Where the war fights start? You know it. Round 1, baby. You know what I'm saying? Armando, how you doing? I hear you, Armando. What's up, brother? Great Gumbo, how you doing? Yeah, Paro was holding. Paro got lucky. Shit, I was there. I was there. Boxing facts. I was in Puerto Rico. I interviewed Subriel. I interviewed Liam Paro. I was front row in that fight. I watched the fight there live, bro. That's that fight. That flag right there is from Puerto Rico from the fights. If you were like in the upper, the closer seats, they put like Spanish flags all over, and in the back where it was like the less seats, they got the bigger flag. I was like, right? But yeah, that's my band right there for media access to the Liam Paro Subriel Matias fight right there. That's the wristband they give you so you can interview the fighters and stuff and be backstage and shit. Yeah, I had a blast out there. And I was there and I saw it. And in the seventh round, man, Liam Paro was gonna break, man. He was gonna break. He was, Sabriel hit him with this exchange. Hearing it, like sitting there, it was like, pow. And I was like, bam. He hit him on the side of the head with one, and Liam's foot shift like that. And he got it. Kudos to Liam Paro. He got it together. He came to Puerto Rico, enemy's territory, and he pulled one of the biggest upsets. When we think about upsets and shit, when the awards are going out and they're looking at all these fights, so some of the biggest upsets of the year. Some people said that Dubois beat AJ was an upset. They thought that AJ's experience, two-time heavyweight champion, had AJ won that night, he makes history, right? He'd have been the first, I think, heavyweight champion to successfully become a heavyweight champion 3 times. He was going for greatness himself, on that night. He just didn't win. If he would have won that fight, they would be talking about Anthony Joshua as the greatest heavyweight champion to ever live. He wins that night. He didn't need the rest of the belts. It was the achievement itself that none of the legends have ever done that. So, and there was some big upsets, huge, and knockouts of the year. I think Leo is winning right now. I'm not sure. I seen this knockout. It was in British. I got to find out the guy's name. It was vicious. And I don't think a lot of people saw this fight, but the boxing world that judges knockouts, sometimes you'll see knockouts win the award and small, but it was a professional scheduled boxing match. It was just on that side of the world, you know. And sometimes you see these fights and nominees, and you're like, huh? Who the hell is this guy that won? And they're not judging these guys sometimes by their star status. They actually have to earn it. And when you see something better, you can't deny it. You're just like, wow, that was much better of a play or a knockout or a situation that was more at stake. You know, um, I thought Ford pulled a big upset. Raymond Ford. I mean, he wasn't supposed to win that fight neither. He won the title, then he lost it. Um, but he wasn't supposed to win that fight, bro. Hell no. He was not supposed to win that fight. There's a lot of good I wanna go back and just like recapture, 24. It hasn't come to a complete, we have a pretty decent fight, I believe December 31st, and that would solidify the year right there. Um, and I believe that you know, the Saudi prince right now and Riyadh season, and I'm not really sure what the PBC got planned for 2025 as far as, you know, I'm getting, just one good card for the year and think that no, because if the PBC is gonna stay up there with the rest of these guys, that are messing around with Riyadh season and those guys, I think he's got to put out some big cards too. You know, because the truly, 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 the biggest fight for me, I love Naoya Inoue, right? I love him, but his fight is not that big for me. I mean, in the regards of competition, it's big when he fights. Yes, that's mandatory. I'm gonna tune in to watch Naoya Inoue fight anytime, right? It's not big in the level of competition. What I mean, for me, the biggest fight is David the Monster Benavidez versus David Morrell. That's got to be the best fight, the biggest matchup since Errol Spence Jr. and Terrence Crawford. Since that fight. I mean, the Tyson Fury was a good one. Yeah, it was good. They're a little bit older gentlemen. One of them 37, age wise and so forth. These are two young men in their prime. This is the kind of shit I live for. This fight right here, although not for a world title, this is a world championship quality fight. This is the kind of fight you get fighting for 4 belts. These two men. This is the kind of shit, or unification at least. This is a world title fight. The competition and you know what makes it good? It's the point where they're at in their careers. This is where you wanted to see Devin Haney versus Teal. This is like the point where you wanted to see Tank Davis versus Devin Haney. You wanted to see Tank Davis versus Teal, and so forth. So when we're looking at this, for me anyway, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I gotta tell you, I gotta admit, when I heard that, I was like, yeah, right. Yeah, right. Why would they fight this fight now? Why don't you just let this fight materialize? You know what I mean? That their names are going to be bigger, even that much bigger. Yo, and then everything that kicked off throughout the press conference and to build up the shit talking. Yo, Morale's holding his own. He ain't shutting up. He called him RoboCop. He was like, yo, did you see him? He RoboCop. He was like, yo, he was killing me with that. I was like, yo, Morale. Yo. And it was David the Monster Benavidez' birthday. So they had the mariachi band there playing. Right? So he rocking, right? And homeboys, he tearing into him. He just, and although they're Latin, because Cuban, Mexican, sometimes when I speak to Mexican, like real Mexicans that speak their language, and like when you see it on TV, it's proper, right? They lose me. I don't understand that. I catch like every third, fourth, fifth word in a Latin word. Then I don't know what they're talking about. I don't understand them. Cuba, is more, their Latin is more like ours, Puerto Ricans. It's right up our alley. They speak it just like us. The Dominicans, they're real, real close, a little bit off. Some words they say that I'm just like, what did he hear you say? Right? But now, as I'm older, I understand it better. But back then, but our Latins, just because he's Latin, I just want to explain this. They might not understand each other. You see? But I believe the most simple Latin way to understand are the Cubans and Puerto Ricans, and because our dialect comes from Spain, but we don't speak like them. We some of our Puerto Ricans do. Like the more I guess the more educated, the more that been there, grew there, but you hear them talk, their dialect is awesome, right? I'm like a New York Rican. You know what I'm saying? Right? My dialect is no muy bueno, right? Right? But no, but I can talk, of course, right? But so when morale is, I was looking at David the Monster Benavidez, and I was looking at his father. he understood everything he said. His dad, he understood everything Morale was saying. In fact, he like got up and would briefly like answer whenever he could get in, like what he said. Yo, and I'm like, I love that shit. I love that shit because it builds for it. And it also builds for the outcome. Because what happens? Which one of these warriors fall, like that thing, two samurais jumping into the wind, drawing their swords. Chung, chung. They both land opposite sides. One drops. As soon as that warrior falls, bro, that's why I say it takes a lot. It takes a lot to go out there on a world stage in front of everybody and put everything on the line. These men fight for championship legacy, um, for to prove that they're the best fighters in the world. And at any given moment, you can be up in a fight like H2O found out. My man brutalized him. He fell asleep behind the wheel. Um, and the rest is history. So you risk a lot. You risk a lot. And you have to be in this to be an athlete sometimes, not just physically strong, not just physically talented, not just skilled. Sometimes you got to have it all together. Sometimes you might just have to be a little bit so naive that you just don't pay attention to this. Whatever the outcome or the case of these athletes dealing with some of these situations, I've seen athletes pushed to extreme cases of even hurting themselves. Um, and it's sad when you know you can push a person that you know doesn't see their way. You know, um, so it's individual how strong you are. You know, how fast can you quiet the noise? Typically, you're probably gonna go talk to athletes that have been in these situations. Learn from people that have lived that kind of life. Devin Haney comes to me and says, "How would you deal with this, Edwin?" I would say, "I have no freaking idea, bro. You might want to talk to Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, brothers that lived in the limelight and dealt with outrageous situations. Tiger Woods, talk to how they do it, and sit down and have a real one-on-one. Don't do no dumb shit like record it or anything. This is real talk. This is like real men that have dealt with and experienced stuff like that. I've never experienced anything like that where the entire world was fucking on the whim of everything me and my wife were doing or my relationship or any of that stuff. I have no idea what that's like, but I know that that shit must suck. Shit, I get a comment sometimes in my comment section and I'm like, that mother was like, what the? And it was a comment. Like, you got to learn how to different levels address things, you know? And now today, I'm like, no, I roll with the comments, of course, but, a week into this, I was like, it's life, man. It's life. We learn. We live and we learn. I'm going through my journey. You're going through yours. At some point in time, you can look back at your story. You may not like what you see, but whatever happened, just say at least me, myself, I say to myself, are you not sitting here reliving, rethinking your story in your head? Yeah. So you're still in the game. Yeah. So you still got time to change things. Yeah. And you still got time to grow, make better memories. Yeah. And always remember, Edwin. And I'll be like, what? And he'll be like, Your past is nothing merely than a story. You are a survivor from whatever you came from. If you want to hang on to anything you've already survived through, that's up to you. But Edwin, I suggest you got some living to do. Don't be bound by your past mistakes. Don't cringe on some of the things you've done. Been there, done that. None of that I could fix, bring back, nor do I want to. Because looking forward towards tomorrow gives me more ambition to wake up, to tackle the world, get things done, make another memory, take another picture. Time is short. One day I will meet my maker. But before that, I have a little living to do. So rather than reflecting on the things I've done on the past, I look forward to the future. That's all I could say on that. Listen, fight fans, I know that this was going to be a short one today. And I hope that if anything, you got something out of this. I got to start getting ready. Got to go to a family Christmas party, little secret Santa thing going on there. Amazon still has not delivered the gift. It's supposed to be here by 10 o'clock tonight. Uh, might have to stop and get another one. So, look, fight fans, I hope you guys have a merry Christmas out there. Please don't forget to give this video a like, share it, um, and it, like always, you know, subscribe to the channel and take care of your loved ones. Keep your circle close. You know how they say, right? Keep your friends close, but your enemy even closer, right? My greatest enemy is myself. Pay attention to your greatest enemy. Keep him in check. Your life will be much better. Thank you for meeting you, Round One Sports Talk. I'm on to the next one after this one here at Round One Sports Talk. Peace.